Welcome to the World History 1 lecture series. At the end of each slide there will be a 10-second delay. Use this time to pause the presentation and complete your notes. When you are done, push play and you will move forward. This lecture will begin in 5 seconds. Welcome to World History 1 Lecture 3.1 on the geography of Indian civilization. And let's take another look at the cycle of civilization. We know that civilizations are established, they develop, they sustain themselves, they develop differently, they rise and fall, and they rebuild. Last unit we looked at how civilizations are established, and we learned that civilization equals urban culture. We know that civilizations have characteristics and effects, and we looked at 5 examples to see all of this in action. We looked at the Mesopotamians, the Egyptians, the Hebrews and Phoenicians, and the Persians. Now we're going to move on and see how civilizations develop. And we're going to look at 3 things. We're going to look at how geography influences development, how civilizations can reach a golden age or high point, and how religions develop along with civilizations. And we will use ancient India as our example. Go ahead to the next slide. Indian geography is similar to that of Egypt and Mesopotamia, but there are significant differences which will change the way that ancient India develops as a civilization. Ancient India is located in Asia, and it includes the modern countries of India and Pakistan. So if we look at the globe, this is us in North America. This is Africa, where we find ancient Egypt. This is the Middle East, where we find Mesopotamia, the Hebrews, the Phoenicians, and the majority of the Persian Empire. And all the way over here on the other side of the globe, this is India. India is also located on a subcontinent, which is a large, distinguishable part of a continent. That means that you can recognize this piece of land from the rest of the continent. A great example in the United States, Florida. So let's look at this map to find the Indian subcontinent. We are in North America, which is number 1. Africa is number 2. The Middle East is number 3. And the Indian subcontinent is number 4. Go to the next slide. Let's take a closer look at the Indian subcontinent. Indian civilization starts in the Indus River Valley. So just like in Mesopotamia, just like in Egypt, Indian civilization starts in a river valley, and this happens between 3300 to 1500 BCE. And then civilization spreads east into the Ganges River Valley sometime between 1900 to 1300 BCE. Now, to give us a modern day perspective, the Indus River Valley is in modern Pakistan, and the Ganges River Valley is in modern India. Go to the next slide. So far, Indian geography is nearly identical to Egyptian and Mesopotamian geography. Well, here's where the similarities end. You see, India has the perfect climate for civilization. The Indian climate allows for rapid development of agriculture and urban areas. What does that mean? The Indians can grow more food, they can support a faster growing population in their urban areas, and their civilization develops rapidly. And it's all because of monsoons, which are a weather pattern that provides significant rainfall to support agricultural development. It rains heavy for like 6 months of the year. Forrest Gump would feel right at home in India. Go to the next slide. Not only does India have the perfect climate to rapidly develop their civilization, they are also geographically isolated from the rest of the world. India is protected to the north by two mountain ranges. The Hindu Kush are in the northwest part of India, and the Himalaya Mountains, that's Mount Everest and K2, the highest mountain range in the world, is in the north of India. India is also protected to the south by three major bodies of water: the Arabian Sea to the west, the Bay of Bengal to the east, and the Indian Ocean to the south. What does all this mean? It means it's really hard to invade India, and Indian civilization can develop uninterrupted. Go to the next slide. Because it is geographically isolated, there are only a few ways for people to get in and out of Indian civilization. Now, on this map, you see red lines and blue lines. The red lines are trade routes on the land, and the blue lines are trade routes on the sea. On land, to get into India, you have to go through mountain passes, which are a gap in the mountains. And one of those passes is called the Khyber Pass through the Hindu Kush. These passes were used as invasion routes by the Aryans, and they're also used as trade routes. But there's only a couple of passes that you can use to get into this civilization. India also traded with Fertile Crescent civilizations by sailing the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea. Go to the next slide. Now we're going to look at India to see how a civilization develops from its infancy to its height or its golden age. So to do this, we need to look at the earliest Indian cities. Again, civilization develops rapidly in India because of the climate and geographic isolation. And early cities in India develop on the Indus River. There are two cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. And you will be surprised to see that these cities look a lot like our cities today. Early Indian cities include a grid street layout, wide streets, and they even have public sanitation. They are using public baths. That's it for this lecture, and I look forward to seeing you in class.